Hello and welcome to fourth quarter of 2018. Top 5 albums will be listed here. The actual top 10 of 2018 will be done maybe in 2 weeks later, but now it's time to basically recap what was going on in the fourth quarter, which is also the last one, as you know. Now, selecting 5 albums for this quarter is no easy task always, because some of the albums are very much the same level in my opinion, and it's sometimes hard to choose which one to keep and which ones to left out. There were a couple of other contenders, so to speak, which could have been on this list, but since I had to kind of limit to 5 albums, you have to just bear with me. And since pretty much 4 of these albums are more or less the same level when it comes to the quality of the albums or how much I like them, don't make any hasty conclusions like why this order is this and that. It's not that much of a thing. The only one that actually was like the clear winner of this top 5 is the one that I'm gonna show you last. But this other albums are more or less not random, but let's put it this way, they are pretty much on the same level. So without further ado, let's welcome the first one in this top 5. This is Förgjord from Finland, and this is a compilation called eli kuolema suomalaiseen tapaan. This is a sort of a compilation release, so not technically a full-length album. It's something that I basically went through on the review video, so I'm not gonna just go through it all, unboxing and whatnot. This is one great piece of raw Finnish black metal that is, I think, mostly overshadowed by more active and bigger names that tour and release music more often than that. Now, I must also confess that Förgjord hasn't always been one of my favorite bands. There are clearly some of the releases which are, in my opinion, are just way weaker than this one. They're more or less kind of not mediocre necessary, but nothing fancy as such. But with this compilation, they kind of managed to prove that they're one great of a band that should not be dismissed. So if you have previously just been skipping this band or the review I did earlier, just check out Förgjord and give it a chance. It definitely has deserved it. Now, more in the Finnish way goes with Winter Moon. They did actually made their full-length album finally after so many years. Also presented in the review videos earlier. I'm not gonna go into details or show you more of this box than just this one. This is also a Finnish black metal that is one of the not so active ones. There are lots of difficulties getting the album done, and now that it's finally out, it was really great relief to find out that this was really good stuff. But this very different type of Finnish black metal when compared to Förgjord. Förgjord is kind of raw, kind of a barbaric, kind of like a, the kind of a beast of a man eating raw flesh and being kind of a berserk. Winter Moon is all about being this kind of a winter melancholy, dark woods and kind of a solitude and all that stuff. Very Finnish in nature. And it's more atmospheric stuff, not so much kind of a violent beast-like breed. Very nice album and definitely has some 90s vibes, which is something to give this album kind of a nostalgic feel. Not too far from that would be presented number 3, called Stilla. This is a Swedish band with its Thunviljor. Totally Swedish black metal, or more like green metal, nature themed. This could be very much the Swedish counterpart of what Winter Moon is all about. That is of very much be this kind of atmosphere and Nordic mindset, if you will, the kind of melancholy, but also those raw vibes. Definitely an album that you should be checking out. Very 1990s vibe, so kind of a retro in ways. Also, reviews out there, so I'm not going to repeat myself too much. Just reminding you of this great album that just came around a few last weeks of 2018. We're gonna keep it very Nordic this time because this one is from Norway. You might remember Hank von Helvete, here Hank von Hell, from Norwegian death punk band called Turbo Negro. Well, their ways parted so many years ago that it wasn't clear if Hank was gonna be back, but luckily he is, and now we basically have two Turbo Negros, much like we have two Venoms or other bands, you know, like two Korgoroths at one point, two Entombeds. Because Hank von Hell's music is very much like Turbo Negro, except that this one is actually having Hank von Hell. It's not metal album, let's be clear about it. It's a rock and roll album, very much like last few Turbo Negro albums. But it's so close to metal in a way that it should be mentioned here. And I totally like it. It is, if things go really brutal or dark or sinister or oppressing or whatever with extreme metal, then you need some energy juice, so to speak. And Hank von Hell is exactly that. One of the most refreshing albums of the end of the year, along with Turbo Negro albums. So it was really nice to have Hank back and with a great album. So what would be the number one slot? Well, let me tell you this much. It ain't an album, it's an EP. And yes, it's also Nordic. It's from Finland once again. And this one I happen to have in vinyl. Morgul with the EP named Morgul. So self-titled one. And as you can see, lots of knives here. This three-man band is something that has been hyped a lot in Finnish underground, Black underground anyway, and I got the chance to check them out on Steelcase Live, and man, they rocked their socks off. Audience as well. Really high energy band with really great melodies, yet also chaotic energy, full of violence and all that stuff. Kind of like Niflheim, but more catchy songs, to be honest. I don't know, some people disagree with me, but I have a little bit of Destroyer 666 vibe from this EP, and man, I cannot complain. This is definitely one of the better releases of the entire year. This will be in my top 10 list, I can guarantee you that much. And hence this is not top 10 albums of the year, but top 10 or top 10 releases, or this particular case top 5 releases of the last quarter. So Morgul is something, if you missed it, go check it out. I cannot promise it yet so far because we are having some staff problems, but I tried to get an interview going with these youngsters. We already agreed to do that at some point, so fingers crossed it will be done. So these are my 5 recommendations for you people. So go check out the samples and figure out yourself if they are for you and your great musical buds. This is Jerry from Rauta. See you soon with more reviews, and try to hold your horses. The top 10 list will be coming out soon. Until that, have a great new year and all that stuff. See you in 2019. Adios.